All right, so today we're going to do a deep dive on man-made fiber spinning. Get you ready for that big interview. And we've got some seriously cool tools from RoleCatcher to help us out with this one. Think of it kind of like your interview superpower. To really go beyond the usual prep, we're talking career guides, insider interview tips, and even AI magic to help you stand out.
Yeah, it's exciting because it's not just about getting a job, It's about stepping into a career where you're literally creating the fabrics that we use every single day. It's a blend of technical know-how and creative problem solving and just having a sharp eye for quality.
I love that. It's like being a fabric engineer, right? But before we get to crafting those perfect interview answers, let's just take a quick look at the career landscape itself.
Good point. Yeah, the career guide highlights some important things. It's a stable field with steady demand, which is great. And there are also chances to specialize. So you could become a master of like nylon or rayon. But, it's also worth mentioning that it can be physically demanding. And you'll likely be working in a noisy and warm environment. So it's good to know what you're getting into.
Yeah, super helpful context. Okay, so let's get to those interview questions. RoleCatcher's guide has a bunch, so we'll break them down, and I'll try to pepper in some insights from the career guide as we go along.
Sounds good. Let's dive in.
All right, the first one is a classic. What inspired you to become a man-made fiber spinner? Seems simple enough, but I bet they're looking for something more than just, I like fabrics.
Absolutely. This is your chance to show genuine passion. Instead of just giving like a textbook definition, think about like a specific story or experience that really sparked your interest. Maybe a childhood memory of watching clothes being made, or like a project where you experimented with different textiles.
Right. Make it personal.
Yeah.
Make it memorable. Now, what if they follow up with something like, what specifically about fiber spinning excites you the most?
Oh, that's a great question. That's where you can show that you've done your homework. Mention a particular process that fascinates you. Maybe it's the precision of melt spinning or the versatility of creating all these different fiber types. You can even tie it back to the bigger picture, like contributing to sustainable textile production.
Nice. Okay, next question from the guide. How do you ensure that your spinning process meets quality standards? This feels like it's all about showing that you're detail-oriented.
You hit the nail on the head. It's about showcasing your methodical approach. So talk about how you would monitor equipment, make adjustments, and stick to procedures like it's second nature. You can even mention staying updated on industry standards, which shows you're serious about quality.
And that's where RoleCatcher's AI can come in handy, right? It can analyze job descriptions to see which quality keywords pop up the most, so you can really tailor your answer to what they're looking for.
Exactly. It's like having a customized cheat sheet for each interview.
Okay, so this one might make some people sweat. What experience do you have with troubleshooting spinning equipment? I'd be a little stumped if I hadn't prepped for that one.
Yeah, don't worry. With a little prep, you'll be a troubleshooting pro. The key here is to have specific examples ready to go. So think about times when you faced equipment issues. Maybe a clogged spinneret or inconsistent yarn tension. Explain how you diagnosed the problem, what steps you took to fix it, and what the outcome was. This shows both technical know-how and a proactive mindset.
I love it. Okay, so wouldn't it be cool if they asked, what's the most challenging equipment issue you've solved, and what did you learn from it?
Oh, absolutely. That's a chance to really shine. Talk about a time when you really had to think outside the box, explain your thought process, the resources you used, and how that experience made you a better problem solver.
Okay, so next up,
Yeah.
what types of man-made fibers have you worked with, and what is your experience with each? I mean, this is a chance to showcase your expertise, right?
It is. Be ready to get specific about different fiber types, polyester, nylon, rayon, etc. And explain your hands-on experience with each one. Don't just list them off, though. Think about what makes each fiber unique. Its properties, common uses, and maybe even some of the challenges that you've encountered while working with it.
Okay, let's say they follow up with, tell me about a time you had to choose between two different fibers for a specific application. What was your decision-making process like?
Oh, that's a great example of a behavioral question.
Yeah.
And they love those. Walk them through your thought process. Did you consider things like cost durability or specific performance requirements? Show them you can think critically and make informed decisions.
That's a good point. And, this is a good time to mention something cool from the RoleCatcher Career Guide. It actually talks about how specializing in certain fibers can open up all these different career opportunities. So if you're really passionate about, say, sustainable fibers, you could focus your answers on that.
Yeah, that's a great way to connect your interests to your career goals.
All right, let's tackle another question here. How do you manage the spinning process to ensure timely production? Sounds like they want to know if you can handle the pressure.
Well, time management is definitely key, but it's not just about working fast. It's about working smart.
Right.
Talk about your process for prioritizing tasks, breaking them down into manageable steps, and using tools or techniques to stay organized. Maybe you use a specific project management method, or have a system for tracking progress. And don't be afraid to mention the importance of clear communication with your team. That's crucial in a fast-paced production environment.
All right, so last one for this section. What experience do you have with spinning synthetic fibers for specific applications, such as automotive or medical textiles? I'm guessing this is where your niche expertise really shines.
Absolutely. This is where you prove you're not just a fiber spinner, you're a specialist. If you've worked with synthetic fibers in these areas, go into detail about the unique requirements and challenges. Maybe you had to meet specific strength standards for automotive textiles or ensure biocompatibility for medical applications. Show them that you can adapt your skills and knowledge to meet the demands of different industries.
So cool. Before we move on, I have to ask, how can RoleCatcher's AI help with these more technical questions?
It's a game changer. Remember how it can analyze those job descriptions? Well, it also looks for industry-specific terms and suggests how to weave them into your answers. So if a job requires expertise in, say, melt spinning nylon for medical textiles, the AI will highlight those keywords and help you build a response that really resonates with the hiring manager.
That's pretty amazing. Okay, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive into what your career journey in this field could look like.
Okay, so we just tackled some pretty tough interview questions, right? And you're probably feeling like you could ace that interview right now. But let's shift gears for a bit and think bigger picture. Your career path in this field. So where do you see yourself going?
Yeah, I love that we're thinking long term. So where do we even begin with mapping out a career in man-made fiber spinning?
Well, the RoleCatcher Career Guide actually lays out a pretty clear roadmap. It talks about different career stages, from entry level all the way up to senior positions. And each stage has its own set of responsibilities and opportunities for growth.
So it's like leveling up in a video game.
Yeah.
You gain experience, unlock new skills, and eventually become like a total pro.
Exactly. And just like in a game, there are strategies to level up faster. For example, the guide mentions getting industry certifications, things like the Certified Textile Technologist or the Certified Fiber Technician. Those can demonstrate that you have specialized knowledge and make you way more attractive to employers.
Ooh, that's a good tip. Okay, so let's break down these career stages a little bit. What does an entry-level man-made fiber spinner actually do?
So at the entry level, it's all about mastering the fundamentals. You'll be operating and monitoring that fiber processing equipment, performing quality control checks, and assisting with troubleshooting and basic maintenance, and safety is paramount. So you'll be learning all those safety protocols like the back of your hand.
So it's kind of like an apprenticeship. You're learning the ropes from more experienced spinners and building a solid foundation.
Exactly. And speaking of foundations, the guide even provides a sample profile of an entry-level spinner. They highlight skills like operating specific equipment, understanding different fiber types, and following quality control procedures. They also mention pursuing certifications to kind of boost their credentials early on.
It's really helpful to see those real-world examples. Okay, so once you've got the basics down, how do you progress to a junior role?
Well, moving up to a junior man-made fiber spinner means more responsibility and independence. You'll be setting up and calibrating equipment, analyzing production data to spot trends or potential problems, and collaborating with your team on process improvements. You might even get to train new employees. Sharing your hard-earned knowledge.
That sounds like a great opportunity to expand your skill set and maybe even dip your toes into leadership.
Absolutely. And you know what's cool? RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your current skills and experience and compare them to the requirements for those junior-level roles. It can even recommend specific online courses or workshops to fill any gaps and help you level up faster.
It's like having a personal career advisor.
Okay.
Yeah, last stage. Senior man-made fiber spinner. What does the top of the mountain look like?
Reaching the senior level is a testament to years of experience, expertise, and leadership. You're essentially overseeing entire operations, making sure everything runs smoothly and meets those strict quality standards. You're also developing and implementing strategies to boost efficiency, mentor junior team members, and working closely with other departments to optimize production.
Wow, that's like being the captain of the fiber spinning ship.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher provides a sample profile for this stage too. This person has a ton of experience, multiple certifications, and they even mention leading process improvement initiatives that resulted in, say, reducing waste or increasing production speed. They're a true leader in the field.
It's really inspiring to see the career trajectory laid out like that.
Hmm.
But let's be real, career growth isn't just about promotions, right? What else does RoleCatcher suggest for continuous learning and staying ahead of the curve?
Well, they emphasize the importance of networking and always being a student of your craft. They suggest attending industry events, joining relevant professional organizations, and even building a portfolio to showcase your expertise. Remember, the textile industry is constantly evolving, so you always need to be learning and growing.
Speaking of evolving, let's bring it back to those interview questions for a sec
Hmm.
and see how they connect to this bigger picture of career growth. We touched on sustainability earlier, and I'm kind of curious to explore that further.
Oh, great idea. That question about ensuring a sustainable spinning process is becoming more and more common. And it's a chance to show you're not just a skilled spinner, but you're also a responsible one.
So how can someone really impress the interviewer with their sustainability knowledge?
It's about going beyond the basics. Yes, mention experience with eco-friendly fibers like recycled polyester or organic cotton, but also talk about specific actions you've taken. Maybe you helped implement a waste reduction program or optimize machine settings to conserve energy.
Yeah, I bet quantifiable results would really grab their attention. Like, imagine saying something like, in my previous role, I spearheaded a project that reduced water consumption by 20% during the fiber spinning process.
Now, that's a powerful statement. And that's where RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful. It can analyze industry data and help you calculate those concrete impacts, giving you impressive numbers to share during your interview.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Let's revisit that question about the types of man-made fibers you've worked with. How can you use this question to showcase your career aspirations?
Oh, it's a great opportunity to align your experience with your future goals. Let's say you're really passionate about sustainable textiles. When discussing your fiber expertise, you could emphasize your experience with recycled materials or bio-based fibers. You could even mention any research or projects you've been involved in that promote eco-friendly practices.
So it's about subtly steering the conversation towards your area of interest
Yeah.
and showing them that you're already thinking about specialization.
Exactly. It demonstrates foresight and a genuine passion for a specific area of the field. And don't forget, RoleCatcher's Career Guide can point you towards specialized certifications or training programs that align with your goals.
Okay, starting to see how all these pieces fit together. You nail the interview, land the job, and then use RoleCatcher's resources to map out your career path and become a fiber spinning superstar.
You got it. Now let's dive back into some more of those challenge and interview questions. I'm ready for anything you throw at me.
All right, bring on the heat. Let's talk about troubleshooting.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's dive into some more of those nitty-gritty interview questions. Remember that one about troubleshooting spinning equipment? Seems tough, but it's a chance to really shine.
It is. You can totally nail this one. It's all about showing them you can handle those unexpected curveballs. And remember that STAR method. Situation, task, action, result. It's like your interview's secret weapon.
Oh yeah. Paint the picture, set the scene, describe a specific time you faced a problem.
Exactly, like maybe a broken yarn guide, clogged filter, or a sensor acting up. Then lay out the tasks. What needed fixing? What would happen if you didn't jump on it?
Okay, then you walk them through your moves, the action. Like, did you check the manual, analyze data, test different parts, get technical here, show off that know-how?
And finish strong. What was the result? Fixed it. Production back on track. What'd you learn that you can use next time?
So it's not just about fixing stuff. It's about showing how you think,
Yeah.
right? Your resourcefulness that you learn from experience.
You got it. And guess what? RoleCatcher's AI can help you practice these kinds of questions. It analyzes your answers and suggests ways to make them even better.
That's so cool. Okay, let's shift gears for a sec. There's this question that's getting more and more important. How do you keep up with new spinning technologies? Got to show them you're not just skilled, but you're a lifelong learner, right?
Absolutely. This field is always changing, so showing that commitment to staying ahead is huge.
So how can someone really stand out here?
Well, name specific technologies you've been looking into. Stuff you read in journals, saw at a conference, maybe even tried out yourself.
Like those advancements in automation, robotics, maybe 3D printing in textiles, or new fibers with unique properties that are more sustainable.
Yeah, exactly. Show them you're not just going with the flow, but you're actively seeking out that cutting-edge knowledge.
And don't forget the resources you use. What journals do you read? Conferences,
Yeah.
online communities.
Exactly. And if you're part of any professional organizations like the Textile Institute, definitely mention that. It shows you're serious about your development.
Okay, last question. This one's all about quality. How do you ensure your spinning process meets those standards? This feels like it's all about precision.
It is. You got to prove you're meticulous, dedicated to making top-notch fibers.
Okay, so how do you shine here?
Think of it like a story. Take them through your quality check process. Start with inspecting the raw materials. Are the fibers the right length? Denier, is the color consistent?
Then what about during spinning? How do you monitor tension, speed, temperature, any signs of defects? Talk about specific tools, tension meters, yarn clearers, that kind of thing.
And wrap it up with the final check of the finished yarn. Strength, elongation, twist, are they all good? The key is to highlight that systematic approach and attention to detail every step of the way.
Like you're giving them a VIP tour of your quality control expertise.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher can help you figure out which standards matter most for the job you want. The AI looked at those job descriptions and even suggests ways to tweak your answer to highlight the most relevant stuff.
That's amazing. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. We covered a lot, from understanding this role to acing those tough questions and even mapping out your career path.
We did. Remember, confidence is key. Show your passion, that knowledge, that commitment to quality, and you'll be spinning a successful career in no time.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher has your back every step of the way. Good luck with that interview.
You got this.